Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am really excited about this video because I'm gonna take you through my brand new script book. There are 19 different scripts in this script book. I'm gonna take you through each and every one of them, explain to you why they work and why they will help you get the results you want, which is setting qualified listing appointments and taking well-priced listings. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna tell you exactly how to get this script book for free. Now, whether you wanna sell one home a month, one home a week, or one home a day, these scripts are gonna help you make that happen. These are the exact scripts that I use to list 150 properties a year. They're all FSBOs and expireds, but regardless, they're the toughest ones. There are different scripts here, not just FSBOs and expireds. If you want a cold call, if you want a door knock, all kinds of scripts. And I'm gonna take you through and help you understand the logic behind these scripts so you can use them confidently to become an amazing listing agent. So here we go. The first one is the expired script. And there are two options here. There's option one, which is for a brand new expired listing. So that's someone whose listing expired today. So if their listing expired today, they're new today. Tomorrow, they're not new anymore, they're old. And then we have an old expired script option. I'm gonna walk you through that as well. Although, you could actually use the same script. You could use the new expired script for an old expired, but I have a different option. So you have both of them. So for a brand new expired, the script is very simple. As a matter of fact, it's just one line. How easy, how simple can that be? Hi, this is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm sure you know your house came off the market today, and I'm calling you because I am confident that I can sell your house, and I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes and show you exactly how I can do that for you. Are you available today around 3 o'clock, or would 4 be better? Now, I love this script so much. It got me so many appointments. And then obviously with the listing presentation that I'm gonna share with you here today too, you'll be able to take listings, and we have pricing scripts and all kinds of stuff. So, why is this script so great? Because the only thing that an expired listing is really looking for in the next agent that they will hire is an agent who will make them feel confident that they can sell their property. They're not interested in answering any questions. That other scripts are full of questions. They're like, who are you? I'm fed up. I'm frustrated. I wasted 6 months. All these agents are calling. What is it that you want from me? All they're looking for is to feel that confidence from you. I can tell you from experience, not just when I was selling real estate, but recently, because as you're watching my YouTube channel, there's a playlist on my YouTube channel that has live prospecting calls that I made not long ago, a few months ago, some for sale by owners, expired listings. So if you choose to listen to those live calls, and you could hear what I'm saying and what the prospect is saying, I'm using this exact script and I'm setting appointments. So I know it works. And I also know that other scripts out there that have all these questions that they're not interested in, they're not gonna work for you. The seller is not interested in answering your questions, and they're gonna hang up on you. So use this one. The next one here, and I'm looking at my iPad, okay? I'm looking at the script book so I can stay in order and not forget anything that I wanna share with you today. The next one is the old expired script. So you could use the same one. You could call, let's say if you're calling an expired and they expired 6 months ago. Hi, this is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. I noticed that you had your home for sale several months ago. Instead of saying, I'm sure you know your house came off the market today, you're gonna say what I just said. Obviously, I noticed that you had your house for sale. And then you could continue with the new expired script. And I'm calling you because I am confident that I can sell your house, blah, blah, blah. Or here's another option. I noticed you had your house for sale several months ago, and I'm calling you to see if you're still interested in selling. Now, this is a scripts training video. It's not skills based. But I have to say this because I want to make sure that you notice it. Always bring your tonality down at the end of the questions. Unless you want the seller to doubt what you're saying, which is rarely the case when you're prospecting. And then with the old expired script, and obviously even the new one, and I teach my clients this no matter who they're speaking with. If they say, no, I don't want to sell, whatever, you're not able to set an appointment, okay? Because we're going to go through expired objection handlers. They may have objections. You got to handle them, right? Before you're going to hang up on this call, if you were not able to set an appointment, you use this line: before I let you go, who do you know right now that might be looking to buy or sell real estate anywhere in our area that I can help? This should be how you end every call, because even if you're not able to set an appointment with the person that you're speaking with, is it possible that they may know somebody that want to buy or sell that you could help, or if it's a buyer, you could refer to a buyer's agent? Absolutely. So make sure you don't forget that. The next one is the expired script at the door. So you knock on the door, they open. Hi, this is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm sure you know that your house came off the market today, and I stopped by because I am confident that I can sell your house, and I'd like to set up a time to come back and meet with you for just 20 minutes to show you exactly how I can get this property sold for you. Would you be available today around 3 o'clock, or would 4 be better? Same script. I'm just adapting a minor thing because I'm knocking on the door instead of calling them on the phone. For the older expired, same thing. I stop by instead. I'm calling you. You're stopping by. It's just very easy. Use your common sense on that. Very simple. Now, the next one here, page 5, expired objection handlers. So, very common expired objection. The first one on the script book: I'm not selling anymore. Let me say this before I tell you how to handle this objection. A lot of expireds that still want to sell, and in fact, they're going to list with an agent, maybe the same day or the next day, very, very soon. They'll say to you, they're not selling anymore. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, check it out for yourself. Call some expireds. Note the ones that say this to you, and you say, oh, okay, well, thanks, have a nice day. And then go in the MLS a week later, and you'll see that a lot of them are listed with other agents. Been there, done that. It's happening to my clients. So you need to learn how to overcome this objection, because is it possible that they're really not going to sell anymore? Sure, that's possible. But most of them are going to list. They're just fed up from getting so many calls from agents. They're frustrated because their house didn't sell. So this is a very easy way for them to get rid of most real estate agents on the phone. So when they say I'm not selling anymore, I want you to just simply repeat and approve that objection. Oh, okay, so you're just going to leave the house off the market then? And they say, yeah, that's right. Great. Well, in that case, when do you think that you might put the home back on the market? Just very casually ask that question. And it doesn't really matter what they say. They may say next year, I don't know, never, whatever they say. I want you to repeat and approve. I'm not going to be doing all the repeating and approving on these videos because it'll take forever. I got a lot of scripts that I want to take you through. So, but you know, or you should know, and if you don't know, go watch some of my other videos. You need to always repeat and approve. Okay. So then, regardless of what they say, you're going to ask this question. If you were absolutely confident that your house would sell, would you consider putting it back on the market now? And why is this question so key? Because as I said to you a few minutes ago, they're looking for an agent who makes them feel confident that they can sell the property. Certainly, they're not going to list with somebody who they're not confident will sell. They were confident with the previous agent, it didn't work out. This time, they want to make sure that they really feel confident. And when you're using this language and you're speaking confidently, you're saying it with confidence, it's gonna cause them to doubt what they're thinking, leaving it off the market. I don't know that it's possible to sell, and you're likely to get an appointment. The next one that I have here on expired objections is, what do you do differently? Very simple way to handle that. Repeat and approve, Mr. Seller. That is a great question, and I'm sure that's the most important question you need an answer to, and that's exactly why I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes so I can show you specifically what I'm gonna do differently to get your house sold in today's market. Would you be available for a meeting around 3 o'clock today? Would 4 be better? That's it. You know, you're gonna notice that very often with expired, sometimes you actually have to sort of handle the objection a different way, meaning say something to take the objection away. But so often, and it's the case with 99.9% of for sale by owners, you don't have to handle the objection. All I did is, that's a great question, and that's exactly why I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes. You need to internalize this line because you can use it in so many different situations. Now, here's the next one. If they insist over the phone, well, you know, no, tell me over the phone what you do differently. You want to keep how you handle, you're going to have to answer something, right? Because if you just keep saying, you can't keep repeating, that's exactly why I want to meet with you, because they're going to think like, are you not listening to me? You tell me over the phone. So at some point you might have to say something, and when you say something, it needs to be really simple. And so the script says, again, Mr. Seller, I understand how important this question is for you, and without giving you a long explanation, in a nutshell, Mr. Seller, I am an active and aggressive agent versus being a passive agent, which is one of the reasons why a lot of properties don't sell. My job is to find buyers for the properties that I list, and that's exactly what I'm going to do for you. And I would imagine that's what you would expect an agent to do for you, isn't it? That's it. And that's well, yeah, that's what I would expect. That's exactly why I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes and show you how I can get this property sold for you. Would you be available today around 3 o'clock? Would 4 be better? Actually, in the actual script book, there's even a little bit more dialogue here if you need it. But I just showed it to you, how you could overcome this objection without saying too much. And the less you say, the better off you are. Because if you start giving them a long-winded explanation, they tune out, and pretty soon they hang up on you and the call's over. Okay, so let's go to the next expired objection handler. So here, you could see how this is going to look on the script book that you're going to be able to get for free. And I'll tell you how at the end of the video. So the next one is, I'm going to relist with the same agent. Okay. The first thing you're going to ask is, have you already signed a new contract with that agent? You want to ask, because if they have signed a new contract, then this house is already listed, in which case you should just wish them luck and goodbye, and that's it. If they say no, then you say, so Mr. Seller, before you sign another multi-month contract for thousands of dollars, wouldn't it be worth just 20 minutes of your time to get a second opinion and know exactly what I do differently that will get your property sold for the most money possible in the least amount of time with the least amount of hassle? Just 20 minutes is so easy. What I do differently. These are key things that you need to remember when you're speaking with an expired. They don't want more of the same. They want something different. Would 3 o'clock work for you today? Would 4 be better? Okay. What if they say, I don't know how common this is, but you know, sometimes you'll hear from an expired, I'm going to sell it myself. In essence, I'm going to FSBO. So what you're going to say to them is, so it sounds like, now this is it's called a level shift. I want you to pay attention to this. Oh, okay, so you're always repeat and approve even though I'm not doing it, okay? So, okay, great. So you're just going to sell it yourself. Yes. So it sounds like, say their name, Mr. Seller, you're still interested in selling it then, right? So now I'm already taking the focus off the objection they gave me, and I'm talking about the fact that, yes, they can sell it. They want to sell it, and that's what's important. So now you could say, and by the way, Mr. Seller, I completely understand why you would be thinking of selling it yourself. I mean, after all, what's the worst that could happen? If it doesn't sell again, you're in the same position that you are today. And just to make sure that selling on your own is the best option for you, I'd like to come by and meet with you for just 20 minutes so I can show you what I do differently to get houses sold in today's market. So now, if they say, well, what is it that you do differently? Or, you know, they may give you another objection. And if you close for the appointment, would 3 o'clock work for you today for be better? They could just very easy say, okay, come by at 3 o'clock. 20 minutes, what do they have to lose? What you do differently? At the very least, they may learn something that will help them in the sale of their property. Actually, if they continue giving you, if they say, no, you know, I'm not interested, I am going to sell it myself, you could say what I just said to you. You could say, Mr. Seller, I respect that. And by the way, if I was in your situation, this is repeating and approving, if I was in your situation, I'd probably be thinking, why not just try to sell it myself? And just to make sure, again, Mr. Seller, that you're making the best possible financial decision for yourself, let me show you what I do differently. Even if you decide to continue and sell it yourself, at the end of our meeting, I promise you that you're going to walk away with some great ideas that will help you in the sale of your home moving forward. So would 3 o'clock work for you today? Would 4 be better? So I'm just reiterating that same thing. Okay, now, why didn't you sell it when it was listed? And sometimes this comes in the form of, well, you know, all agents are saying the same thing, and, you know, why didn't you sell it when it was listed? And you're going to respond like this, Mr. Seller, that is a great question, because obviously, you know, your property was on the market for 6 months, and you didn't hear from me until today. So where was I when your house was for sale, right? That's exactly what they're thinking. And now you say, and Mr. Seller, may I be completely honest with you? It's not that I was ignoring your property. It's just that I didn't really know that it was for sale. We have thousands or tens of thousands of properties for sale in our multiple listing today. And your previous agent never contacted me personally. So I was busy finding buyers for the sellers that had hired me. And that's what you would expect your agent to do for you, isn't it? Well, yeah, that's what I would expect. Great. I'd love to come by and meet with you for just 20 minutes and show you exactly how I'd be able to do that same thing for you. Would 3 o'clock work for you today? Would 4 be better? And again, just like another one that I was sharing with you earlier, in the actual script book, there's a little bit more dialogue. I'm so in favor of like saying as little as possible. Another one that is a common thing that you'll hear from an expired is, you're the 50th agent that's calling me today. I like saying something very simple. I like saying something like, You know, Mr. Seller, I have no idea why these agents are calling you. I am calling you because I am confident that I can sell your house, and I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes and show you exactly how I can do that for you. 3 o'clock work today would for be better. Just use the script. I love saying, I have no idea why these agents are calling you. I am calling you because script. Now, how about this one? If you have a buyer, I'll pay you a commission, but I'm not gonna list the property. Massive approval here. Mr. Seller, I appreciate the offer. And by the way, I completely understand, because obviously you don't want to list with an agent again and waste another several months with an unsold property. So I completely understand. In that case, it sounds like you're still interested in selling then, right? I did that in another one here. So you're basically just confirming you want to sell it, you just don't want to list, and I understand why. And then you say something like this, and you know, Mr. Seller, I'm not going to insult your intelligence and tell you that I have a buyer for your property, because the truth is, if I personally or any of the other agents out there had a buyer for your property, it wouldn't have expired. It would have already sold, right? And the reason why I'm calling you today is I know exactly how to find the right buyer for your property. And I'd like to come by and meet with you for just 20 minutes and show you how I can do that for you. Would 3 o'clock work for you today? Would 4 be better? You starting to notice, I trust, that it's kind of like the same thing, and it's very short and very simple. And when you master these objections, you're going to be able to set appointments. Then, next on the script book are expired closes. Now, I use these. I wrote all of them. You're going to be able to get them typed up in the script book word for word. And I'm going to go through a couple of them with you so you could see how powerful these scripts are. Let me see how many are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 of them here. Okay. So one that I really love is, love it. And I call it an expired close, but it's actually pretty universal. You could use it in a lot of different situations and for different objection handlers. If there was a better way for you to get this property sold, wouldn't you at least want to know about it? This is also a FSBO close. Yeah, they're selling it themselves. Sure, I have no doubt that you could sell it yourself. And at the same time, if there was a better way, this is a beautiful, beautiful close. Make sure you internalize it. Another one that I love is, I specialize in selling homes like yours, Mr. Seller, that were listed with other agents and didn't sell. I'd like to come by and meet with you for just 20 minutes and show you exactly how I can find the right buyer for your property. Are you available for 20 minutes around 3 o'clock? Would 4 be better? How about just the line on the script? And you could say that throughout the conversation. If they're giving you objections, Mr. Seller, I am confident that I can sell your house. Give me just 20 minutes of your time and I'll show you exactly what I do differently to get houses sold in today's market. Would 3 o'clock work for you? Would 4 be better? So there's several ones here. I think you got enough on expireds. You'll be able to download all of them and have them in front of you when you are calling them. Now, let's go to the FSBO script. How do I pick my favorite prospect? Is it an expired or is it a FSBO? This is like asking me to pick my favorite child or my favorite grandchild. It's impossible. I love both of them equally. However, one thing that I love about for sale by owners, and it's a little bit different with expireds, is 100% of them want to sell their house. Not 100% of expired still want to sell. There's a small percentage that are just gonna not sell anymore and leave it off the market indefinitely, but not for sale by owners. 100%. You're looking for somebody who wants to sell? This is it. So when I was selling real estate, I tried using so many different for sale by owner scripts, and I was just getting hung up on. I wasn't able to set appointments. It just was not fun. I was getting a ton of objections until I came up with this script. This is gonna get you for sale by owner appointments. So it goes like this. Ring, ring. Hi, this is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. I noticed that you have your house for sale. It looks like you're selling it yourself, right? They're going to respond, yeah, that's right. I want to list with an agent. Yes, and I decided to give you a quick call today because I work with buyers and sellers here in the area, and I'm just calling to see how things are working out for you. They love that because now they could tell you, oh, I'm doing great. I'm getting a lot of activity. I already have an offer, whatever. And once in a while, because I used to talk to so many FSBOs, so you're going to talk to one that's going to say, well, it's not going that great. That happens too. Regardless, it doesn't even matter what they say. You're going to repeat and approve, and then you're going to ask this question. This is the question that changes everything. This is when you say this correctly, because so much of communication is how you say and not just what you say. I'm giving you the scripts, but now you got to learn how to deliver them, right? But when you ask this question and you do it correctly, it's going to get you appointments. And the question is saving the commission the main reason why you decided to sell it yourself instead of using an agent? Do you know the answer to that? Yes, you do. That is the answer. It's saving the commission. That's why people sell on their own. So they're going to say, well, yeah, your commission is a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. To which you're going to respond, if I can show you a way where by working with me, you'd be able to net more money than if you sold it yourself, especially in today's market. Is that something that you'd be interested in looking at? Very easy for them to say yes. It creates doubt for them, and that's the key with for sale by owners. They're very confident about what they're doing, and when you ask this question, they're wondering, well, they may say, I don't know how you can net me more money. Perfectly fine. Just like with expireds, there are a lot of FSBO clauses on the script book that you'll be able to come back with. They give you an objection. We have objection handlers, but the majority of them, there'll be enough doubt that they will say, wow, I don't know, how can you do that? What are you talking about? How does that? Okay. So if they say that and it's still on the script, I don't see how you can do that. Repeat and approve. It's right here. Even the repeat and approve, it's on the script book. I completely understand your hesitation. From your perspective, this math is just not making sense. You're thinking, how could I possibly use an agent and end up netting more money? I completely understand, Mr. Seller, and that's exactly why I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes, and I'll show you how and why I'm so confident that working with me is the best financial decision you can make. Would you be available today around 3 o'clock? Would 4 be better? I love it. It's beautiful. You know why I know I love it? Because I know it works. It worked for me when I was selling real estate. It worked for me recently when I made live calls that are on YouTube you can listen to. And it's working for my clients who are setting FSBO appointments. So magical. Now, the next one is a FSBO script at the door. It's going to be the same conversation. Instead of saying, I'm calling you today, I noticed that you're going to say, I stopped by because obviously I see that you have your house for sale by owner. You're there. There's a sign in front of the house. So just use your common sense. I work with a lot of buyers and sellers here in the area and just wanted to come by and see how things are working out for you. Same exact script. You just change a couple of words to adapt to the fact that you're in front of them at the door. Next is FSBO objection handlers. And here we have, let me see how many. Bring me a buyer, I'll pay you 3%. You hear that from every FSBO. I'm getting a lot of calls from agents. They all say the same thing. I'm going to list with a flat fee for MLS. I'm going to list and I'm not going to list and I don't want to waste your time. I don't need an agent. I could sell it myself. I don't want to pay a commission. I'm just reading these to you. And oh, there's so many. I've sold FSBO before. I just started. Call me in a month. These are all the FSBO objection handlers that you're going to get in the script book, word for word here, okay? So let me walk you through some of the most common ones. Bring me a buyer, I'll pay you 3%. All you're going to do here is repeat and approve. You're going to say, Mr. Seller, I appreciate the offer and I will definitely keep your home in mind. And let me ask you, Mr. Seller, is saving the commission the main reason why you decided to sell it yourself? Back to the script. That's it. That's all you do. If that's your first option, if it comes up again, if they say, no, I'm really not interested in listing with an agent, but if you have a buyer, I'll pay you a commission, 3, 2, whatever they offer, it doesn't matter. Now you're gonna say, great, Mr. Seller, so what I hear you saying is you're willing to pay X amount in commission, whatever they told you. In that case, it sounds like you're looking to save the other portion of the commission that it would cost you to hire an agent to represent you. Is that right? And they're going to say, yeah, that's right. And Mr. Seller, if I can show you a way where I can more than make up for that difference in commission that you're looking to save, is that something you might be interested in looking at? Notice how non-threatening the script is, the dialogue is. It's very conversational. You're speaking directly to what they're interested in. They're not interested in telling you where they're moving to, how are they selling, when they want to move. They have no idea who you are. All they care about is, I want to sell my house and I don't want to pay a commission. The commission is the only conversation they're interested in having. And that's why this script worked and other scripts don't. Because they don't want to talk to you. They don't know who you are. And they're not interested in telling you what they're doing with their life. So speak their language and you will set appointments. The next one here. I'm getting a lot of calls from agents and they all say the same thing. That's pretty common too. Mr. Seller, I hear you. And I'm sure you would agree there's a difference between saying something and actually being able to back up what I'm saying. I can back it up. I know exactly what to do to get this home sold for you in a way that you would be able to walk away from the closing table with more money than if you sell it yourself. And ultimately, that is what you're looking to do. You want to be able to keep as much money as possible from the sale, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I want to do. Great. What would be a good time for me to stop by and show you exactly how I can do that for you? I'm reading the handlers, the way they are going to find in the script book. I'm not reading the scripts. Yeah, I'm sort of paraphrasing here. So you're going to get it word for word. Okay. And you don't even have to transcribe from this video. You'll get it. I'm going to list with a flat fee for MLS company. Very simple. Listen to this. Mr. Seller, I can understand why that sounds like it might be a good option for you. And before you make a final decision on listing with one of those companies, let me come by for just 20 minutes and show you what I do differently from other agents and other real estate companies so you can walk away from the closing table with the most money possible. That is what you want, isn't it? Yes, great. What would be a good time for me to stop by? 3 o'clock. Would 4 be better? Let's see what's next. I don't need an agent. I can sell it myself and I don't want to pay a commission. I love this because you think there are 3 different objections here, but they're not. They sound different, but they're all handled the same way, because really the seller is saying the same thing. They're saying, I don't need you and I don't want you. That's what they're saying. So very, very important with a for sale by owner. You always want to acknowledge what they're saying and make them feel like, yeah, I have no doubt that you can sell it yourself, okay? Because they could. The question is that the best way to do it? And is that how they're going to net the most money possible? I'm saying this to you, don't say it to them like that. So your first option when they say, I don't need an agent, I can sell it myself, I don't want to pay a commission. Mr. Seller, I have no doubt that you can sell it yourself. And I already gave you this when we were going through the expired objections. And if there was a better way for you to get this house sold, wouldn't you at least want to know about it? When you say this correctly, it's illogical for them to say, no, I wouldn't want to know. It would only take 20 minutes for me to show you what would be a good time, 3 or 4 today. Now, if they say it again, okay, if they bring it up, no, you know, I really don't want to pay a commission. I could sell it myself. And again, Mr. Seller, there's no question that you can sell it yourself. The question is that the best way for you to do it so you can net the most money possible from the sale? And if I can show you a way where I can benefit you financially, is that something that you would at least be interested in finding out more about? It's very easy for them to say yes, and that's what you want to stick with. I've sold FSBO before. Absolutely. And I have no doubt that you could do it again. In fact, Mr. Seller, I love speaking with homeowners like you because you have the experience. You've done it before. And of course you could do it again. And at the same time, this is a transition. And at the same time, Mr. Seller, if I can show you a way where my commission would be an investment for you and not an expense. In essence, my commission will make you money and not cost you money. I would imagine that you'd be interested in at least knowing how that might be possible, right? So what would be a good time for me to come by for just 20 minutes? You know, you're starting to notice with all of these scripts that if I don't repeat and approve, if I don't acknowledge that I believe they can sell it themselves, I would be making them wrong. And if you make them wrong or you don't make them feel like what they're doing is right, I mean, based on the information they have and what they know, it's right, they're going to hang up on you. And no matter what you say, they're not going to want to hear, because they're just going to be busy defending to you the fact that they think they could do it and they don't need you. Okay. So that's a very important part of all of these scripts, and you're going to get some of this repeat and approve in writing as well. FSBO closes. There are several. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All of them. I wrote all of them, okay? So I just didn't know how many were here, how many we put in here. I'm going to just take you through a few of them. I already used some of them. Okay, just now taking you through the for sale burner script and the objection handlers. If I can show you a way how I can net you more money, Mr. Seller, if you're absolutely confident that working with me would net you more money than if you sold it yourself, is that something you would consider? I know the math is not making sense to you. That's another one. You're adding up and you're saying, how is it possible? How am I going to pay you a commission and end up with more money? I completely understand. One that I love is the one that I gave you about the investment. If I can show you a way, and you have it here too, where my commission would be an investment for you and not an expense. In essence, working with me would make you money and not cost you money. I love that. That's so beautiful. If I can show you a way where I'd be able to put more money in your pocket, net bottom line, after my commission is paid, is that something you'd consider? I used to use this all the time when I was selling real estate, if there was a significant advantage for you to work with me instead of selling it yourself. Is that something that you would consider? If there was a better way to get your house sold, wouldn't you at least want to know about it? We already talked about that. Ooh, I love, you gotta learn all of these, but this one, Mr. Seller, you sound like a smart person, and I wouldn't expect you to do anything that doesn't make sense to you. And at the same time, if you are as confident as I am that working with me is the best decision you can make, is that something that you might consider? Perfect. I'm not going to take you through all of them because they're all here. You're going to get them so you could read them, okay? I want to make sure that you're understanding the logic behind the scripts, and that's so critical because for you to be able to set appointments, you need to believe in what you're saying, because they're going to believe what you're saying when you believe it. If you don't believe it, then you're going to say it in a way that is not convincing, that they're going to go, no, that's weird. You know, I like the fact that you're saying you're confident, but you don't sound confident in what you're saying. And so it's like what you say and how you say it don't match, and that doesn't work. Okay, so it's really important that you understand the logic so you could believe in what you're saying, because you can't convince someone of something you don't believe in. So when you use scripts that you don't believe in, guess what? They won't believe it either. Circle prospecting script, or calling around the neighborhood, or just listed, just sold. It's all the same thing. Okay, whatever you want to call it. Here in the script book, we titled it Circle Prospecting Script. Now, what you want to do when you're calling around the neighborhood is you want to find a recent listing or a recent sale to give them information on. Let me explain to you, when you read the script, you'll understand the logic in this. People who own a house, I don't care if they're not thinking of selling, they're not, it doesn't matter. Someone who owns a property is always interested in knowing what's happening in the market and how much their property is worth. Now, when you talk about a property that's just listed or just sold, their property could be very different. It doesn't really tell them, especially with the listed property, hasn't sold yet, it doesn't tell them how much their property is worth, but it gives them an idea of what a property just sold for in their area. It gives them an idea of what sellers are asking, and everybody's interested in that. Now, if you're making a circle prospecting call and you end up dialing a number and they're not the owner of the house, it's a tenant, somebody who doesn't own a property yet, they're renting, have the ultimate goal of owning a house. Most people do. You could count on, outside of a really strange person, everybody wants to own a property. So they would be interested, even if they're a tenant, in knowing what houses are asking for a just listed property or what they're selling for in the area they're living in. So that's how you're gonna start the script. You're gonna introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. I just listed a property for sale over on blah, blah, blah street. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's listed for $399,000. And I'm calling to see if by any chance you happen to know anyone who might be interested in buying a home in the area. That's how you start. And they're like, oh yeah, where is that property? What's that address again? How big is it? How do I know? I've made tens of thousands of these calls. My first 2 years in real estate, this was the majority of the calls I made. And to be honest, the biggest challenge you're gonna have with these calls is getting people off the phone, because they don't wanna sell the house, because then the next you're gonna ask if they might be interested in selling in the near future. If you go with the just sold script, you'll see it's all here. It's pretty simple. But your challenge is gonna be getting them off the phone, because I don't know if people are kind of lonely these days, but when you call somebody and you you sound interested, interesting, and it's conversational, and you're giving information they're interested in, they want to talk to you. They'll ask questions. They'll tell you. People used to tell me all kinds of stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I get off the phone? Yeah. So these are very, I just had this thought that people say this is cold calling. I mean, to me, this is warm calling. And FSBOs and expireds are warm calls too. You might not have ever talked to them, but they want to sell. And these people, they're interested in the information that you're giving. And for sale by owners are interested in netting more money. Expireds are interested in finding an agent who makes them feel confident. So when you actually use the right scripts, these are warm calls for you. And then at the end, I already said this earlier, but I'll say it again. At the end of every call, you're always gonna ask, even if they don't wanna sell. Before I let you go, thank you for your time. Before I let you go, can you think of anyone? And then, if they say, well, if they start asking questions, they sound interested, I have 3 different options on the script where you can give them some information or an idea on what their house is worth without wasting a lot of your time. The scripts are here as well. And if they are not gonna sell, you could also, and you had a great conversation with this person, you could also add them to your database. So there's a line here. Mr. Seller, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today. I offer a great service, free service to my clients where I periodically send them an email update with what's going on in the real estate market. Can I write down your email address so I can send that information to you as well? And some are gonna say yes, some are gonna say no, and that's okay. Your goal is to find people who wanna sell, but some of them could end up being people in your sphere of influence database that you're gonna speak with periodically, and they may end up doing business with you in the future or referring somebody to you. Next is the circle prospecting script. Same thing, you're gonna use the same script. You're just gonna adapt. Instead of saying, I'm calling you today because the house was just listed, I decided to stop by today, and then you go on with the script. For rent by owner script. Now, this is not one I wrote it, but it's not one that I personally used, so I'm gonna read it to you. Very simple. Now, reasoning here, right? Someone who has a house for rent and they're renting it by owner, is it possible that they might want to sell it? Yes, that is possible. Actually, that's a common objection. Sometimes from expireds, they'll say, well, I'm gonna rent the property. Or a FSBO, well, if I don't sell it, I'll rent it. So you could actually be calling someone who was previously an expired or FSBO, or not. It could just be an investor. They don't have to necessarily have been a FSBO or an expired, but it's possible that they might have had the house for sale, or selling the house would be an option for you, for them, but they don't even know that it's an option. So the script goes like this. You introduce yourself. This is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. I noticed that you have your house for rent by owner, and I'm just curious, Mr. Seller, if you could sell this house now at a price that makes sense to you. Is that something that you would consider? These if blank, would you blank questions are amazing. I use them all the time. When you get the script book, you're gonna see them again and again and again and again. And then you see how they respond. And they may give you some objections that are some of the same you would hear from FSBOs and expireds. Handling objections is a process that's pretty much the same every time. You listen to what they're saying, you repeat and approve, you ask a question to get their attention, create doubt, curiosity, which is usually an if blank, would you blank question, and then you ask for the appointment again. Absentee owner script. So this is, again, I didn't make a lot of these calls at all, but there were times when I'm calling an expired in a FSBO and the property is vacant and the seller lives somewhere else, I just go on with the script. If it's just a plain absentee owner and you don't know that it's an expired or a FSBO, hi, this is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm calling about the house on blah, blah, blah. Is this the owner? Or you say their name. Is this blank if you know who the owner is? And then you go on with information on a just listed or just sold property, similar to what you're doing with a circle prospecting call. I decided to give you a quick call, Mr. Seller, because a house was just recently listed for sale or a home recently sold in our area. And I'm calling to see if there's a possibility that you might consider selling your property sometime in the near future if the price actually makes sense for you. That's it. Great. Let's set up a time to meet. They're an absentee owner out of state. We can set up a time to meet on Zoom. We can have a video conference. I can share with you exactly how I can get your property sold, and we can discuss what's the highest price that we could sell your property for in today's market. Would 3 o'clock work for you today? Would 4 be better? You're starting to see like, these are pretty much the same. And so it's going to be easy. I'm saying that because it should encourage you to really commit to learning these scripts, because when you do, it's not like it's a million different things that I'm saying. It's pretty much the same thing. Next on here is the pre-qualifying script. Now, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is for you to pre-qualify all of your appointments. Do not go on unqualified appointments. You're going to get so discouraged. When you go on an appointment without pre-qualifying, you're going to show up unprepared. No matter how well you know the listing presentation and you've done a great CMA and you know how to talk about the price, you don't know what's going on in their head. You don't know what they're thinking if they're interviewing other agents. You don't know anything. First of all, if you're paying attention, all of my scripts, I don't ask them, where are you moving to? How soon do you want to be there? Why did your house sell? Are you going to interview agents? What's the point? That's like a waste of time. They're not interested in answering those questions. Those are pre-qualifying questions. Their motivation, their financial situation. These are all pre-qualifying questions, and you need to know the answers before you show up. So the first one, my pre-qualifying script has 12 questions. It's pretty short. And this is a basic pre-qualifying script. What do I mean by basic? You're going to ask these questions, and depending on how they respond, you might have to ask additional questions, because sometimes you ask and they're vague, like the answer doesn't tell you anything. So that means you have to dig and ask additional questions. Not just when you're pre-qualifying, with every script, you have to sound interested and interesting. Okay? Because if you don't, they're not going to want to answer your questions. And I hear that all the time from clients. Well, they don't want to answer pre-qualifying questions, because you're asking in a way that doesn't make them feel like responding. So the first one is, and actually, the first one is a transition line. So you set an appointment. They say, great, yeah, come by at 4 o'clock. Oh, I really appreciate the opportunity, Mr. Seller, and so that I can be better prepared for our meeting, I have just a couple of quick questions. When you sell your house, where will you be moving to? I don't say, so that I can better prepare for a meeting, I got a couple of quick questions, and I pause. Oh, I don't have time for any questions. No, I just keep going. As a matter of fact, if you want to remove the couple of quick questions, you could even do that. So I can be better prepared for our meeting. Mr. Seller, tell me, when we sell your house, where will you be moving to? Notice the when, not if. Assumptive language, because if they list with me, it'll sell. And if I can't sell it, no one can. That has to be your mindset. Second question, how soon would you like to be there wherever they're going? What's important to you, Mr. Seller, about being in Dallas by the end of July? And are you planning on interviewing any other agents? Now, why do I want to know this? Would you like to be blindsided at the appointment and have no idea if you get to the end of your presentation and they say, oh yeah, I have 3 other agents that are coming by, and you don't even know who they are? Because the reason why you ask this question is if they say, yeah, I'm going to interview other agents, and I'm just curious, Mr. Seller, who are the agents that you're speaking with? If you ask correctly, most of them will tell you. And then you ask, and when are those appointments scheduled for? So you can make a decision in a few minutes. You're asking additional questions so you could be better prepared. And if they tell you who the agents are, you need to do some due diligence, some homework, and go on the MLS and find out who these agents are, how many homes they sell, what's their list to sales price ratio, what's the average days on market, is an individual agent, is this a team, all of that stuff. And you should actually print that information and bring with you to the appointment, because there's always a way for you to present yourself as a better agent than anyone else they're interviewing. Whether you're brand new or whether they're brand new, it doesn't matter. Oh, but isn't it bad to say something bad about the other? Did I say you're going to say something negative about any agent? No, you're just going to state the facts. You're looking up their track record, and you're you're going to present your services as a benefit over these other agents that they're thinking about interviewing. That's all. There's nothing wrong with that. Every single successful business on the planet do that. They know what their competition is doing, and they know why their service or their product is better, and they can sell you on it. Next question. One of my favorites. What specifically, Mr. Seller, are you looking for in the agent that you'll hire? I love that so much, because they'll tell you exactly what you have to show them to take this listing. Then, and when we meet, Mr. Seller, how much are you thinking that you want to list the property for? Price that they have in mind. And this is a great question too. What would happen if your house doesn't sell? And I want you to say it like this. And Mr. Seller, I'm asking you this question just to understand if you have a plan B, because quite honestly, when you choose to work with me, there's no doubt that your property will sell. In fact, if I can sell it, no one can. But is there a plan B in your mind, that what you would do if it didn't sell? So that's the logic behind this question, because you want to know, and it's important to only ask all of the pre-qualifying questions after you set the appointment, because at that point you're already in rapport. They should be excited to meet with you. They're more likely to answer the questions truthfully, because in the beginning of the call, when they have no idea who you are, they're going to downplay their motivation. They're not in a hurry. They don't care. None of your business, because they don't know who you are. I wouldn't tell a complete stranger that calls me out of nowhere what's going on. So now, at this point, when you're pre-qualifying, they're way more likely to open up, especially if you're asking the questions the right way. Next, how much do you owe on the property? You want to know if they have a second mortgage, if they have any liens, or what's going on. And Mr. Seller, at the end of our meeting today, if you feel confident that hiring me is the best decision you can make, will you be ready to go ahead and list the property today? That would be the last question you ask. And then you want to make sure that everybody that has to sign, decision makers and owners, are going to be present at the meeting. And the last one, I said 12, but it's not. It's 11 questions. The last one, 12, is just a statement. I look forward to meeting with you, and I am confident that when we meet, you'll clearly see why we should be working together. That's your final line. Next, wow, a lot of scripts here, but you need all of these, yes? To be a great listing agent and to be taking Whether, like I said, whether it's one listing and sale a month you want to make, or a week, or a day, you need all this stuff. Next is the listing presentation script. This script is like 4 pages. Let me see. Yeah, 3 maybe on the script book. And I'm not going to read it to you word for word. I'm going to explain to you what's here, because you're going to get the script, so you'll know. There are 4 parts to this presentation. Part 1 is you get to the house, you introduce yourself, and you just confirm their motivation casually. When you get to the house, I recommend that you let them show you around. It's a great opportunity for you to engage them, regain the rapport you had on the phone, and ask some questions. So, Mr. Seller, I know you mentioned to me over the phone that you're going to be moving to Dallas and you're starting a new job, or you have family there, and you want confirming the motivation as you're walking through the house, and you have the opportunity to do that. And then you say to them, Mr. Seller, I'm really excited about our meeting today. And before we start, I just want to tell you that my goal, and I know we share this goal, my goal in working with you is to sell your home for the most money possible in the least amount of time with the least amount of hassle. And that is what you want, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I want. Great. So you can ask them at this point, you're confirming the motivation and what's motivation is where, when, and why, by the way. When, where, and why. So right here, when you confirm the motivation, you could ask him, Mr. Seller, you told me you're moving to that. Is there anything else about the move that is important to you that I should know about? Important question, because they might have not told you everything over the phone. That's part 1. Very simple. Part 2 of the presentation is your marketing plan. What are you going to do to sell the house? Now, there are some scripts out there that you don't talk about what you're going to do to sell the house. And the truth is, if you are on a listing presentation with a past client, a sphere of influence, someone who knows you, who has worked with you in the past, you might be able to skip this. But when you're speaking with someone you don't know, an expired, they don't know you and you don't know them, an expired, for sale by owner, a circle prospecting call, you can't show up to their house and just say, well, here's the price. That doesn't work. Trust me. You might have used those scripts before with expireds and FSBOs, and you're like, this is horrible. Yeah, because they want to know why should I hire you? And you sharing your marketing plan is what's going to make them feel confident that you are the right agent. And if you're talking to an expired listing or a FSBO, they might have already interviewed other agents, or they're going to interview other agents. They're comparison shopping. Everybody does that, especially an expired listing. They already wasted 6 months. They're not going to list with the first agent that they speak with, unless that agent makes them feel really confident that they can get the job done. Then they will. So it's possible. And that is exactly what you're supposed to do on these presentations. So your marketing plan, you're going to talk to them about passive marketing and aggressive marketing. The script is here word for word for you. In addition to everything that other agents do, because you may do everything that other agents do, professional photos, a video, this or that, and you do open houses, and you put a sign, and you do flyers, and every agent does that. What do you do differently? And what you do differently is you are an active and aggressive agent. I use that script with you in the expired objection handlers when they say, what are you going to do differently? And I used to say this on every presentation, Mr. Seller, I speak with Now you fill in the blanks. X number of people every day, Monday through Friday, looking for buyers and sellers. And this is how this is going to benefit you. You have the script. I'm not going to read it all to you now, but I used to talk about that, how I am prospecting. In fact, Mr. Seller, that's how I found you today. And the benefit of, well, yeah, but you know, you're looking for listings. Yes. And Mr. Seller, the more listings I have, the better it is for you, because listings attract buyers. And buyers don't usually buy the property they call on. So I have the opportunity to cross sell. And the more buyers that I attract through the listings that I have, the more demand I can create for every property that I have for sale, and more demand equals more money. And you do want to sell the house for the most money possible, don't you? That's the logic, okay, behind the script. Now, to be able to say to a seller that you prospect every day, Monday through Friday, you talk to X number of people, you need to be doing it, because you're not going to tell them you do it and not do it. In essence, you prospecting benefits you and the sellers that hire you. The whole script is here. Part 3 is the price. There's scripts and dialogues here. You're going to let them know you're a professional, you're an expert, you're looking at home prices and studying them every single day. You carefully prepared a market analysis, and your goal on the appointment is to help them understand the price. The script is going to take you through it. You're going to take them through the market analysis, one comparable at a time, to help them understand what the price should be. You, based on your knowledge of the market and the market analysis, you came to a conclusion as to how much this house is worth. And your job on the appointment is to share the information that you have with them so they can come to the same conclusion. Your job is not to show up and tell them, because if you tell them, they're going to argue about it, because every homeowner wants more money for the house than the house is worth. When they see it and they understand it and you explain exactly how it works, they're way more likely to actually, they may fight it, they may still want to price it higher, but when they see it, they have nothing to defend because it makes sense to them. That is your job. The script is here, and that's what you do. And then I said 4 parts. The last one is ask them to sign the contract. As simple as that. That's the end result you're looking for. And by the way, before you start your listing presentation, you should take, let's pretend this is a listing agreement. You should take the listing agreement out of your briefcase, put it on the table right where you're gonna meet with them, and put the pen on top of it and just leave it there. It's a subliminal close. So when you get to this point and you agree on a price, you take your pen, you write the price down on the listing agreement, everything else is already filled out. You turn the agreement and ask them to sign, and that's the end of it. Now, next here, and this is this could be a long conversation, so I'm going to shorten it because you're going to get the script, you're going to get a visual here, and there are other videos on my channel on the FSBO problem, the FSBO presentation, which is a problem presentation. Why is it a problem presentation? Because FSBOs have problems. They just don't know they have them. They think they get it all figured out, but the truth is they have problems, and these problems cost them money. And your job on a FSBO appointment is to help them understand that they have problems, and you can solve those problems, and that's how you net them more money. So that's what the presentation is focused on. It's different than the listing presentation that I just shared with you. That presentation is for expired listings, for just listed, just sold, for your past clients, sphere of influence. In my opinion, they should all be the same. You shouldn't just skip the marketing plan just because they know you, unless you're just going there to get the contract signed and they already told you that. FSBOs you cannot just show up and do a presentation like everybody else, because you're saying to them over the phone, if I can show you how I can net you more money, benefit you financially. So you're going to show up and you got to talk about that before anything else. And as you are going through these problems in a very specific way, okay, scripts, like I said, you're going to get some scripts in the script book, but there are lots of videos that you could actually look at as well. Intertwined in this presentation is going to be what you do differently. Okay, it's not like, let me tell you how I'm going to net you more money. Oh, and now here's what I'm going to sell, what I'm going to do to market your property. It's sort of together, because one of the biggest ways that you're going to be able to net more money for that for sale by owner is by increased exposure, maximizing the demand, which you do by how you market the property. Okay, but there's other scripts and dialogues you're going to share with them. So you're going to talk about exposure, how you're able to maximize the exposure through the multiple listing system and the prospecting you do. You're going to use some examples of that. I mean, exposure is huge. You know, what the auction example is one of my favorites. I'll share this with you right now. When you go to an auction or you go buy something on eBay, there's a, let's say, whatever item, right? You want to buy a, I don't know, a pair of shoes. There's a starting bid for the pair of shoes you want. And if you're the only person bidding on those shoes, you're going to make the starting bid, the minimum required for you to bid. And if nobody else bids on it, then you paid the starting bid and the shoes are yours. But if other bidders join and they also want the shoes, they start bidding the price higher and higher, and they're going to end up selling for more. An auction is the perfect example of how more demand equals more money. And for sale by owners, have limited exposure because the majority of buyers prefer to use the services of a licensed, professional, experienced real estate agent, because selling a house is a huge financial transaction. In fact, for most people, it's the biggest financial transaction of their lives. So they're not just gonna like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but you know, let me go do it myself. Most people don't do that, whether they're buying or selling. Real estate agents, we have a license for a reason. We know what we're doing, and I trust you know what you're doing. And if you're brand new, you have resources. You have your broker, your coach, or me, or whoever, resources to help you through your transactions so you can protect the interests of the buyer or seller that you're representing. So demand is a huge reason why. And then there's the types of buyers that sellers are dealing with. Buyers that typically go after for sale by owners, they're looking for a deal. They know that that FSBO is not paying a commission, and the commission the seller is not paying is the same commission they're thinking they can save as the buyer. I'm going to pay less for this house because the seller doesn't have an agent. There are lots of other scripts and dialogues here. Negotiating skills. This is a big one. As a professional licensed agent, you have skills in negotiating that can save them a fortune. And if you don't have it yet because you're brand new, you got to go get them. You have to learn and gain experience and go talk to your broker. Learn how to be a great negotiator for your clients, because there are a lot of aspects in the transaction that require a great negotiator, and third-party negotiating will make them money. When you have a buyer and seller directly negotiating and they have opposing interests, seller wants to sell for the most money possible, buyer wants to buy for as little as possible, it's very hard for them to come to a win-win situation. And whoever you're representing in this transaction, you need to learn all the different aspects of the transaction and how to negotiate inspections, repair, appraisal, walkthrough, a lot of different things. Woo, wow. Okay, are we getting close to the end here? Commission objection scripts. Interesting conversation, right? Considering class action lawsuits going on and verdicts and other stuff. There are a lot of commission objection scripts here for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a bunch of scripts. But here's what I want to say to you about commission objections. You don't want to handle commission objections over the phone. You don't want to tell them what your commission is over the phone, and you don't want to, when I say handle, if they say, well, another agent said they could do it for 2% or 1%, can you cut your commission? You don't want to handle that over the phone. Why? Because it won't make any sense for you to do it over the phone. Why? Because until you get to the listing presentation and they see the value that you bring to the transaction, the amount of commission you charge is irrelevant. It's me saying to you something like this. I just bought a brand new car for $50,000. Did I make a good deal? And you're looking at me thinking, I have no idea. Depends on what car you bought. If I bought a brand new Bentley convertible, I made a great deal. If I bought a car that's falling apart, I overpaid big time. It's like, what's the value? What is this car actually worth? You need to know that to be able to determine if 50,000 is good or not. It's the same thing with commission. People pay for value, and if they don't see value, if you are not bringing value, if they don't see the benefit for them, what's in it for them to list with you, to pay you? If they don't see the value, they're not gonna pay. I wouldn't either, and neither would you. If I'm comparing two agents that are equal, and one, the commission is up here, the other's here, and to me, what they're gonna do is the same, I'm gonna go with the lower one. You would do the same thing. That's what people do. So these commission objections are gonna help you understand that, handle that. You don't want to respond over the phone because, again, it won't make sense. So I'm sure this is going to be very helpful for you. Some of my favorite commission scripts are here. So you'll see. It'll be fun. Next, price reduction scripts. Well, there's a couple of pages of this here. 1, 2, 3. 3 pages of pricing scripts, right? I put price reduction scripts, but some of them you can use at the listing appointment if the seller is like arguing about the price, but you'll be able to use some of this stuff. But there are a lot of them for price reductions because in an ideal real estate world, you would always price your listings to sell day one. But unfortunately, it doesn't always work out that way. And if you're not able to walk away from a listing appointment with a well-priced listing, you want to use a dialogue to set the seller up to expect a conversation about price in the future. You don't have a crystal ball. You don't know what, you could take a well-priced listing today. Think about this. Today, based on everything you know, you list it for $399 and it's an amazing price. And then tomorrow morning, you wake up and you go check your MLS and the house across the street that was pending, you don't know what it closed for, it just closed, and it's exactly the same house, and it sold for $340. So yesterday, based on all the comparables, $399 was great and it was gonna sell. Now you just got a comp for $340, and all you did was sleep for one night, and you wake up in the morning and your listing is overpriced. You don't have control over that. Price is a moment in time. And this is a script for you to use. It's here. It's one of the scripts. There's so many that I love. And price is not an exact science either. You could have 3 appraisals on the same property and they're all going to come out differently. Not, 50% more, but they're not, it's not exact. And it's a moment in time because neither you nor the seller have any control over what other homeowners are doing in the neighborhood. That's whether a new property is listed for sale. It could be that you wake up in the morning and there's another listing and it's the same house now listed for $320. Your well-priced listing at $399 is instantly overpriced. And there's nothing you or the seller can do. But your job is to keep the seller informed, communicate the information. Don't get attached to the price. Don't own it because you don't own it. You don't get to choose what the property is going to sell for. Can you imagine how fun real estate would be if we as agents actually had a say in what properties sell for? You don't. The market, the buyers, that's what determine prices. So these price reduction scripts are going to help you with that. And then there's some I call shifting market scripts. If you're in a shifting market, these scripts are going to help you. If you're not, well, I don't need that. Great. Well, they're there when you need them because real estate is cyclical. So you may not be in a shifting, you may or may not be, depending on what part of the country you are, but eventually the market, if it's up, it's going to go down. If it's down, it's going to go up. So then you're going to need some of these scripts. And the last ones are holiday objection handlers. And of course, starting in October, November, December, you start hearing sellers say, I'm going to wait till after the holidays. So I have some of the best scripts here for that. It's not that many. It's just the ones that actually work. When I was selling real estate, this is actually the truth. I wouldn't say anything to you that's not. December, I used to stop working around the 23rd. Not that you should, but I did. I took the last week of the year off. And there's still a lot of properties selling, trust me. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. There's always homes coming on the market. So it's if you don't, I'm not saying you should take the time off. In fact, I think you should be working unless you're in a position where you financially feel like you're good. But anyway, my first 2 or 3 years, I'm sure I was working, but I'm talking about starting my 4th year. I sold 100 homes a year and I was doing okay, so I could take the last week of the year off. And I took more listings every December than I did any other month of the year. Now go figure. I'm working 1 week less and I'm taking more listings than I would in the months that I was actually working the entire month. I had Decembers of taking 21, 22 listings, where my average was maybe 16, 17 listings a month. December is an amazing month for listings. Agents are not working. You're going to be the only one. And when you have the right and effective holiday objection handlers, you're going to set appointments and you're going to take listings and you're going to start your brand new year very, very powerfully, because you can't stop working in November and December, because you're really, not only you want to work because you want to finish the year strong, but you're also setting yourself up to start January 1st with active listings and pending sales. Because if you don't have active listings and pending sales on January 1st, you're already behind on your goals for the new year. So it's critically important that you keep working. And remember, the reason why I took more listings in December than any other month is not because I was better. It's just because there weren't that many agents working and prospecting, because I worked in a very competitive market. So whether you like it or not, no matter how good I am, I'm not going to, there are other agents that are calling before the whatever is going on. And so make sure that you are on the phone every day, throughout November, December, and even, Thanksgiving. Okay, that's one day. If you want to take off, great. If you want to take off, Christmas, New Year, whatever, but that doesn't mean you stop working. And finally, I trust this video was fun for you. It was a long one, but it was fun for me. And how you're gonna get this script book. There is a link in the description of this video. Just click that link and we'll get the script book over to you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, any comments, please put them below, and I will see you on the next video.